The war was supposed to be over, the ceasefire was signed, and interim MoU was in place. The world thought the United States and Iran had finally stepped back from the brink. But barely 2 weeks later, missiles were flying once again. Commercial ships were attacked. The US struck Iranian positions. And suddenly the question is back. If there is a peace deal, why are Washington and Tehran still fighting? The answer lies inside a single paragraph. On paper, Article 5 looked straightforward. Iran agreed to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, the world's most critical energy choke point. For 60 days, commercial ships would be allowed safe passage, no transit charges, military obstacles would be removed, sea mines would be cleared, and maritime traffic would resume. Simple, except the final few lines of Article 5 changed everything, because they didn't clearly define who would control the strait after reopening. And that's where both sides read the same agreement very differently. Iran says Article 5 recognizes its sovereign authority over the Strait of Hormuz. It argues that as a coastal state, it should lead the administration of one of the world's busiest shipping lanes.
Perhaps I was among the first people, right at the beginning of the war, when there was not yet a ceasefire, to say this publicly. I posted a tweet and made it very clear. I said, everyone should know that the management of the Strait of Hormuz will never return to the way it was before the war. Of course, we will implement international maritime laws precisely and fully. Everyone should understand this, and no one should distort it for their own purposes. With full respect for international maritime regulations, the strait will now operate under Iranian arrangements, which are also reflected in paragraph 5 of the agreement.
The United States disagrees. Washington says future management must involve Oman, Gulf nations, and international maritime coordination to guarantee free navigation.
As long as they respect us, I don't want to use the word fear, because that's an inappropriate word, but as long as they respect us, we're not going to have any trouble. We have total control of the strait. So the mechanism is we have a Navy that had a blockade. I think the blockade was more impactful than dropping bombs, if you want to know the truth. It was like they call it the steel wall. Nobody got through. Not one ship got through, able to go to Iran. They got through if we wanted them to go through. And we could set that up again in about 15 minutes. I would say, Pete, one phone call. How long would it take? Maybe half hour?
They're ready to go right now if you need to. Yes,
It'll be before we finish the meeting. No, we have, as long as they respect us, we're going to be fine. If they don't respect us, things wouldn't be good, but they have a lot of respect. Don't forget, we had presidents that should have done this for 47 years. Nobody did it. Obama gave them a road to a nuclear weapon. I gave them a wall against a nuclear. They can never, under this agreement, they'll never even think about building a nuclear weapon.
In other words, both countries signed the same document, but they signed two completely different interpretations. Then came the spark. A commercial vessel transiting the Strait of Hormuz was struck by a projectile. Iran denied responsibility. The United States blamed Tehran for threatening freedom of navigation and launched retaliatory strikes. Just like that, the first military confrontation since the peace agreement had begun. The ceasefire technically survived, but trust did not. Why does this matter so much? Because nearly 1/5 of the world's seaborne oil trade passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Any disruption sends shockwaves through global energy markets. That's why control of this narrow waterway has always been bigger than just Iran and America. It's about oil, trade, and global influence. Iran has even floated the idea of charging vessels to transit the strait. The US and Gulf nations have rejected that outright, insisting international shipping cannot become a bargaining chip. Experts say this isn't a collapse of the peace deal. Not yet. Analysts argue Washington is now trying to reinterpret an agreement it had already signed. Both sides want stability, but each wants to define what stability looks like. And that's the problem, because peace agreements don't fail only when bullets are fired. Sometimes they fail when every sentence means something different to each side.
If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to Mirror Now.